Sheila, you and I have been in this business a long time.
Decades. Yes,
Yes,
decades.
yes. And we have seen some really big changes between when we first started and now. What are your kind of thoughts on all of that? What
I
was
think,
it when you started?
well, as someone who graduated undergraduate school in 1985 with a K through 12 physical education and health bachelor's degree, I was athletic and fit, but there really wasn't a fitness industry. I mean, there was kind
Right.
of, I don't know, you owned a gym, but there was really nothing else. So I quickly, high school PE was not for me, and then I went to graduate school for an exercise physiologist because if you wanted to study and really learn about fitness, you just became a scientist. Okay, so I had no idea that personal training was a living. Personal trainers were just the butt of jokes in some bad movies,
Right.
um, and so the fact that I'm celebrating my 30th anniversary of owning a personal training business and I'm now hiring people
A
successful personal
successful.
training. I just find it fascinating, and the young people that I have hired over the years, I always find it shocking that I say, "Do you know when I went to school, this was not even a living, and now you went to school to specifically do this for a living." I'm shocked, and they're shocked. I mean, these people go to undergrad school knowing they want to be a personal trainer. They may continue into graduate school to be a trainer. So the fact that it is now not a job, it's a profession of
Yes.
something. Think about it. When we were in graduate school, this was not a job or a profession, and now it is a thriving profession. It's amazing, and I
Yes.
think we grew up in it. You and I we've seen the whole spectrum. Which I'm glad about. I'm glad about.
Yeah, I am too. And I know that, early, in my career, I had a ballet studio, but I also taught um, like aerobic dance.
Yeah.
Jackie Sorensen came out with aerobic dance back in the day and the
Mm-hmm.
whole Jane Fonda era.
Yeah.
So we have seen a
We've
lot
seen
of progress.
Tybo, we've seen Step, we've seen Tybo. Now we've got spinning and now we have rucking, everybody with their
Yes,
weighted vest. So
yes,
yes, we
yes,
have. So I guess we would also say as business people that we know how trendy fitness can be.
yes.
And when I first started my business, so this is a funny story. Why is my business called Fitness Plus? I was this 27-year-old kid and I was working with, they happened to be friends of mine, but they owned like kind of an advertising marketing company. And we were trying to come up with a name. And I was so unsure that personal training would survive. I thought it was a fad. And I thought, I don't know if this is going to last. I don't want it to be Sheila's personal training studio because I just didn't believe in it yet. And so I thought I worked with them, and fitness plus means fitness plus whatever I might else have to do to make a living. I mean, I wanted to be able to keep the name, even if I was, I don't know, cleaning swimming pools. I didn't know fitness plus whatever I have to do to pay the bills. So that's how the name came about.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So yes, um, it's a well, I would like to bring credibility more to the profession. It is a viable profession.
I
There are
agree.
thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of personal trainers. However, to the audience at large and all consumers that I talk to are very surprised when I tell them I live in Kentucky and I say, "Do you know that Kentucky does not require their personal trainers to be certified?" And they're shocked because the hairdresser has to be licensed. I mean, licensed.
Right.
Hairdresser has to be licensed. Electrician has to be licensed. Doctor has to be licensed. Lawyer has to be licensed. Everybody has to be licensed. But then I'll broaden out and I'll say, well, actually, in all 50 states, no trainers are required to have a license. And
No.
that is very shocking to people. And I follow that up with that means there's a lot of bad ones out there.
Right.
So consumers have to look beyond. I misspoke and used the word certified. Certified is the word that you're not supposed to look for. Okay. That's a minimum. There are so many certification bodies available online that anybody can be a certified trainer for $99 in 15 minutes. And the exam you have to take is a no fail multiple choice exam.
Right.
So you have to look at beyond certification education. That's what I believe. I believe education trumps certification.
Absolutely.
You and I have so many certifications. I mean, we
Yes.
couldn't even list them on a business card because you're interested in a class or a piece of equipment
Yeah.
and you go and you get certified. That is no substitute for exercise physiology, biochemistry, kinesiology, all of the courses. And I am sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't think a weekend certification that's better than a 15-minute online. But I also don't think you can take 4 years of undergraduate exercise science or kinesiology education and squeeze it into a weekend
No.
seminar. And so
No.
I would tell people, if your trainer has the initial CPT afterwards, which they use for certified personal trainer, the first question I would ask is, well, that's great, but tell me about your education. Where did you go to school?
Right.
Tell me and some people get mad at me about that. Some certified professional trainers that feel that they're very knowledgeable and they've kept up. And I am sorry, that's just my opinion, is that nothing replaces the classroom. I just don't think so.
Right.
So
And so for the consumers out there, know your trainer's background.
yes.
If you are thinking about training with a certified personal trainer,
Mm-hmm.
check their education background.
Well,
Just be
and
a wise consumer.
yes, and let's also remember that one of the reasons that your doctor doesn't refer you to a personal trainer, there was a survey done, it's probably been close to 10 years ago now, but the number one reason doctors gave for not referring their patients to personal trainers is because they know there's no licensing. So they have no
Wow.
control over the quality of them. I have worked
Exactly.
very hard with some of the medical professionals in my town of Lexington, Kentucky, that they got to know me and my business sense and the kind of trainers I hire. So they do refer people, but I've had to go make those relationships, because the sad fact about the profession that you and I love is there still is a lot of unqualified people. I don't get it anymore
Right.
much, but I used to get people calling wanting me to hire them. And when I'd say, well, give me a little idea of your background and education, and they would say, well, I lift weights a lot. I'm in the gym a lot. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. That is not really what I'm looking for. So
Right.
yeah.
And again, you've got a successful personal training gym.
And I think the respect of that, part of the reason of the success for that is because people value education. When I started this business, and I didn't want to have memberships or packages in my facility, because I felt like I wanted the client to find value in what we were doing. And if they found value in what we were doing, then they would come back. So I didn't want them to come back if they didn't find value just
Mhm.
because they bought a package of 10. So what I have proven to myself, and to some other businesses that hire me for consulting, is that education matters. And if you're gonna run a business and say, I'm going to make a lot more money if I hire less educated people because they'll take $10 an hour, and I'm going to make so much more money. No, you won't.
Mm-mm.
No, you won't. Find the best people, pay them the most you can, have your business will be much more successful because you're making a percentage of the total business. 100% of nothing is nothing.
Right.
And so for me, one of my trainers celebrated his 25th year with me this year,
Wow.
right? So in that time, he's gone from an apartment to a house. He's gone from single to be married, children, and affording a life that's just a normal life for someone who worked hard to get themselves, a degree and to get into a profession. They should make a professional wage. So to
Yes.
any business owner out there that's trying to maximize their profit by lessening what they pay their people and getting less talented people, I don't think you're on a very good road.
No. And it's not good for the consumer either.
No, no. I've recently hired some people, and a couple of the young people that have really nice degrees, they actually got out of the fitness business. And one kid's only 27. He had two experiences that, well, one gym like closed in the middle of the night and he didn't get his last check, and they
Um,
never gave him the insurance they said they were going to give him. But he said this other gym, he said he said, Sheila, he said, the owner wouldn't even show up for his own clients sometime. I
Oh,
mean, I was doing everything and I was right out of school and people thought that I owned the gym because this guy was never, I hear a lot of these stories,
yeah,
and so fitness businesses open and close quickly, but it's like, some of that is just you're setting yourself up for disaster if you're not a serious business person.
that's
I
right.
mean, you need to make a business plan and you need to make a budget and you need to hire good people. You need to train them. I mean, people that I get from other gyms are always shocked when they're like, wow, like this is organized. Like you pay attention to detail. Well, yes. I mean,
It's a
business owners,
business.
it's a business. And my father used to say, I loved him. And he said, Sheila, just remember when you start your business, little things become big things.
Oh,
So and they do, you start cutting it a little bit,
yep.
the gym's a little dirty, a little, the next thing you know, you've got it, you got a mess, the equipment gets a little raggedy, so paying attention to detail and staying on top of things is very important for any business owner.
Yes.